Hi there, and welcome back to another installment of Bandit's Body. Today we're actually in the studio and we are going to be doing some more Pilates based work. So today's class will be on the mat the whole time. So mat out, I've got my leg bands on already, my resistance is just hanging on the side, and I've got my 2 upper limb straps ready to go as well. So we're just going to start off with a little bit of a warm-up. So lying on your back, have a sense of 3 points of contact: middle pelvis, middle ribs, and middle head. We're then just going to take a couple of nice deep breaths, breathing into the belly, breathing out. Try and breathe through your nose, really expanding. Maybe picture a large balloon within your belly area, filling up the balloon, and then exhaling again. And then we're going to come into some articulation bridges. So we start by tilting the pelvis back, feel the low back connect, and then driving down through the feet, we curl up one joint at a time. Coming up to the top here, where the knees lengthen away from us and the rib cage relaxes. Take a breath here, and then slowly curl down again, one joint at a time. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, tilt the pelvis under, low back connects, and then we engage the glutes and start to peel up, forming again a long line here, watching that we're not sticking the ribs up. Nice breath, curling down. We'll just do one more here like this. Tilt the pelvis under, and have a really nice wide spread of the feet on the floor here as well. And then coming back down. We're going to then just scooch the feet in so they touch, and we're going to rotate the spine. So starting here, knees will roll, knees pick up the pelvis, pelvis picks up the low back picks up the rib cage. Take a breath here and think of length through the body. And then coming back again, ribs, low back, pelvis, knees, and to the other side. Knees, pelvis, spine. Holding here for a big elongation breath, connecting down with the shoulder onto the ground, and then coming back again. One more, knees. Really feel that nice spiral effect coming through the spine, locking down and connecting with that opposite shoulder. If you want to, you can take your head in the opposite direction as well. Coming back, last time through. Nice rotation, and having a real sense of the knee drawing away from this opposite shoulder, and coming back in. Then we're going to just have a little mobilization into the back of the hip. So I'll get you to pop your ankle over here. And you might just be here for this exercise, that might be enough, or you might be able to lift your legs up as well. And we're looking for a stretch here at the back of the hip. We're then going to just have a little pulsing motion in and out. If you want to, you can connect this with your breath. Exhale, and then inhale, release. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, release. If your foot's down here, you can maybe just connect with the leg and draw it in towards you. So we want to think of a pulsing motion, pumping fluid in and out of our muscles. Good. And then we're just going to swap. So coming onto this side, again, you might be here, toe touch in, or you might be able to lift. And again, just a nice, small, pumping rhythmic motion. In and out. Just gently encouraging some length and movement at the back of the hip. Good. Finally, we're going to pop the feet mat width, so nice and wide, hands on the pelvis, and we're going to mobilize the back of the hip again, but this time with internal rotation. So just allow your alternate knee to drop down to the floor. Now we want to keep the pelvis still here, which is why I've got you to place your hands on here. The knee's just going to gently fall in, foot will lift. And we're looking here for opening and stretch at the back of the hip. So if you feel this in your knees, you might want to adjust your feet a little bit, bring the knees in a little bit, or just don't go so far. Okay, good job. So we're going to clip on our bands now onto our leg loop. Off we go. If I didn't say already, I've got my little ankle straps on also. And then I'm going to work with my green bands. I'm going to pop them on my front loops. Pop over onto my side, and we're going to come with some thorax mobility with an arm circle. So I'm going to have my head resting here, arm out in front, feet in line with the hips. We're going to lift the arm up to the ceiling and then rotate through the rib cage and then reach into that arm back behind you, coming up and forwards. So we have arm here, it comes to the end of its movement, the shoulder blade then joins in, and then it starts to bring the ribs with it as we rotate open. Coming back to center. So probably slow with your breathing. You might want to inhale here and exhale as you rotate. Or vice versa. It's whatever feels good in your body. So I have arm to here. Arm then picks up shoulder blade picks up ribs, and we rotate. Looking for a really nice opening stretch. All right, we're going to take our awareness now to the side of the hip, and we're going to come with some leg lifts. So, leg elongated away from us, and we're going to start with 10 lifts, hand on the pelvis, lifting up and down. So we want to watch here if the pelvis stays nice and still, and that the movement just comes here from the side of the hip. So we're thinking of this hip bone drawing up towards the pelvis. And we're going to feel these muscles at the top working. So we've got 7, 8, 2 more, 9, 10. Hover the leg, grab your band, 10 big circles. 1, coming down to the hips. 2, keep the shoulder blades melting down. 3, lengthening this leg away from you still. 4, 5, good. Exhale as you pull. 6, really watching that you avoid this position with the shoulders coming up to the ears. 8, 9, 10, holding here and then lower. We're going to come then with some leg circles, so circling the hip joint. So lifting your leg to the same height as the pelvis, we're going to circle the leg backwards. 1, 2, 3. And this is like stirring the pot. I often call it that when I'm teaching. 7, 8, 9, 10, pause, change direction, in. So again, we've got nice little lift underneath the waist, head and shoulders relaxed, and just regular breathing. You can feel that burning already now. Hold the leg where it is, grab your band, and we're going to hold the arm here, and we're going to circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, swapping direction. So as we circle around here, try and feel the weight of the arm slotting back into your socket. Good, nice work. And coming down. We're staying with awareness here at the side of the hip, and we're going to come with a forwards and back kick. Now I'm going to do this with a long leg, but you can do the same exercise with a bent leg. So we're going to bring the leg forwards and then sweep it back behind us. So maybe imagine that your foot is resting on a ball and swinging or rolling over that ball as it comes forwards and back. You want to watch here again that the pelvis remains stable and that you're folding into the hip and then using your butt cheek to take the leg back behind you. Coming to rest. Make a little fist here, and we're going to do what's called a rub and scrub over this tendon area on the side of the hip. So this is going to help with our fluid dynamics in this area, bringing blood and water back. Now we're going to grab the band here, And when the leg comes behind us, we're going to come with a forward press. So off we go again. Leg swings forwards and back. Leg forwards, back. 3, pushing. And your upper body will rotate away towards the floor. So you get this lovely long opening through the body. And again, the leg aiming to stay same height as the pelvis. And I think this is about 10. Whew, well done. Again, let's just do a little rub and scrub over the side there. Last thing we're going to look at is double leg lift. So working into the upper waist. So we'll have our legs squeezing together. Hand support if you need it first of all. And then we just hover. So maybe have a visual of a spring connected to your ankles and hovering up towards the ceiling. Holding this position here, we're actually going to do 10 overhead presses. 1. Again, the shoulder blade is going to think of magnetizing down to your back pocket so that we have a nice big space between the shoulder and the ear. Good. Keep exhaling as you push. Now, we're either going to hold here, or you can pop your hand on the floor again as we do 10 little lift and lowers. Coming up. Make sure you've got something nice and cushioned under your hip. We don't want to be pushing onto the tendons and compressing them too much in that underneath hip. Good. Hold. Oof. And coming back in. Well done. We'll swap onto our other side. So, we are going to whiz around here. Put the strap out the way because we're going to be using this one and coming straight into our thorax opening reaches. So coming up, then let the shoulder blade, ribs, chest open, coming back forwards again. Lift. Exhale as I open, coming back up, then forwards, lifting up, shoulder blade, ribs, elongate, pushing into that band, coming up and over. We'll do this one as our last. Rotate. Oh, lovely. And coming back. All right, so keeping the underneath leg bent, we're going to come with our 10 lift and lowers with the leg. So off we go. We are thinking of drawing a line on the wall away from us. Just check in again that your leg is in line with your body and you're not working with your leg in front of you, which is going to facilitate the front of the hip. We want to be on the side of the hip. So it really is the ball moving towards the top of the pelvis. Lift and lower. Good. I think that's 10-ish. Then we're going to hold the leg for a hold as we bring the arm in. A nice wide angel wing motion. Catches here, overhead. Coming in 3. Lengthen this leg away from you. 4. 5. Again, shoulder blade magnetizing down. 6. So the head, neck relaxed. Got deep tummy working. Oops, I think my leg was drifting off towards the floor then. 2 more. 9. Last one. 10. Yeah, wow. Really good burn here in the top of the hip. So we come now into our circles, 10 out, 10 in, and then with the arm. Lengthen the leg away. And again, nice big circles if you want. You can hold your pelvis here. Make sure there's no movement and it's just the legs circling around. Then we come back in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Wow, I can feel my hip. 2, 1, and resting. Now we had an isometric hold again. I'm just going to have a quick rub and scrub here for my tendon. We could have an isometric hold, or if you want to do the circles with your legs bent, you can. So I'll do my first ones here. Thinking of shoulder stability here. and the shoulder ball just rolling around in the socket but connected down. And you'll feel that the band really helps you here. Changing direction, I'm going to have my leg extended. 2, 3, 4. So we've got all these muscles of the rotator cuff working together in a nice circular pattern. 9, 10. Coming back in. Then we came into our forward and back kick, or sometimes known as side kick in Pilates. So we're going to do without the band first, so working on balance, shoulders relaxed. We have forwards, back, 2. You just notice here, I'm not coming very far forwards. I'm just working on the pelvis remaining stable and bending into my hip crease, as opposed to looking like this and the whole body moving. And resting. Then we're going to grab the arm. Remember, we have a push and we're bringing in some dynamic motion of the rib cage. So the leg goes back and we push. It comes in. Drive. In. 3, 4. Exhale, 5. Trying to keep your leg and arm to similar height off the floor. 9. Well, I think that's 10 anyway. 10. Come back in. My hip's telling me it's about 10. Then we came with our double leg lifting. So, lengthen the legs away. Focus comes to the top of the waist. We draw the ribs and pelvis together. And we had 10 overhead press. 1. Coming in. 2. So elbow coming down towards the ribs, elongating away. Got 5 more to go. Keeping a control with our deep tummy and then the outer muscles of the waist working as well. Good, holding here, lift and lower. And again, if this is too much of a balance challenge for you, by all means pop your hands on the floor. But the band will actually give you a little bit of assistance here, lifting the legs. Good, holding and lower. And then we're going to pop onto our back. So on our back, I've just removed the upper limb band and popped it onto my ankle strap. So they're both now attached here on my feet. We are going to start straight away with full one leg stretch. So remember, these exercises, the ones I'm showing, are the most advanced. So you may need to regress through. So we're going to float one knee, exhale, bring the second, we're here in tabletop. We're going to start elongating the leg away, coming back in. 2, come back in. Really connect in here with the band as the other leg extends. So we've got hip flexors and hip extensors working. Losing my band, there we go. Then we're going to come with an overhead press. So we've got same arm as leg. 2, 3. So driving the arm away from you. It's coming close to the body. We're going to now just bring a small abdominal prep. So we have just lifting the shoulders up and repeat. 1, 2, 3. Connecting your tummy down. So with this exercise, we should be able to keep a tiny little gap underneath the low back, just enough for a small grape. Exhaling as we push, inhaling as we return. Good, coming down to rest. We're then going to come into double leg stretch. So for this exercise, I'm going to ask you just to imprint the pelvis back. So we squash that little grape onto the floor. Both legs are going to push out with heels connected, and at the same time, we're going to push in a nice wide V. So we have exhale, inhale, exhale. So we keep our heels connected together, inner thighs squeezing together, Shoulder blades melting down towards the hips as we go. Feel your tummy melt down towards the floor. And we're pressing on that small grape onto the floor as well. So we have a nice control here from the band, which allows us to lower our legs a little bit more. Good. Okay. The next exercise we're going to look at is a frog exercise. So with the bands, you can have them like this. So I'm going to rest my elbows on the floor, or you can actually cross them over as well. So we'll do a couple of each. Now with our frog, our heels are touching, and we're now going to work against the leg bands. So we're turning our knees out, and that turnout is going to come from the back of the hip here. So rotate your thighs. I've got my handle, but I'm also holding further up the band. Then extending your legs away, bringing them back in. Extend away, bringing them back in. Inhale, return. And we're going to keep again our back just gently pressing down on the grape. You want to watch that your ribs don't lift. You might then want to challenge your legs a little bit lower. But as you come in, really rotate out against the band. Pushing away, come in, rotate. Good. Now for those of you that have done reformer work, you know that this one is your dolphin. So you come up, you have your frog legs, extend away, lower down, come up, frog, extend, lower, come up, frog. If you want to, we can add the arms in. Frog, come up, extend. Frog, come up, extend. And frog. Good. Wow, that's really working my turnout muscles or the back of my hip there. We're then going to look at some double leg circles. Again, you can have your bands on either side, or you can cross them. So I'm just going to cross mine over as a demo. Holding again the handle, and then I'm going to hold just a little higher on the band again. So with my elbows planted on the floor, we're going to come down, sweep around and in. Lower down, legs are turned out, sweep out, in, down, pressing on the grape. So we want to really make sure we don't feel the rib cage or the low back arch. You don't want to see this with the back arching up at all. Also minimizing tension. Going to come the other way now. Circle out, coming up. And if I had my bands the same way around, just gives me a little bit more freedom with movement, slightly less support. Coming out, changing direction. Good, beautiful. So those are your double leg circles. We are going to now have a look at our roll-up. So the traditional roll-up with the legs straight. Now, two versions here. You can actually use the band to help you. So that's what I'm going to do first off. So starting, big inhale prep, exhale, drop the chin, bring the rib cage up, flatten. So we need to get this point where the rib cage comes to the pubic bone. Using the band to help, coming up, high sit. Then as we come down, tuck, pelvis tucks, ribs come down towards the pelvis, and then we plant down each one of our joints at a time. So low back goes down, rib cage goes down. Inhale, exhale, curling up, coming down, curling up, coming down. Now, if you can roll up and down quite well, we can then use the band to bring in something else. So we're going to hold the handles, Exhale, curling up. When we get to our high sit, up we go. And curling down again. Coming up. High. So we've got a high shoulder press. Curling down. Coming up. High shoulder press. Curling down. If you want to, you can take it wide. A wide V. Coming down. Last variation, I'm going to come out to the side. Curling up. Side. Coming down. So I've come overhead. Coming up. Wide. Coming down. Last one. Out to the side. There we go. Well done, guys. We're going to change position now and come into side planking. So for a side planking, we're going to remove it from the ankle straps, pop it back on our leg straps again. And we are going to be looking at side bend. I'm going to do 2 sets. The first set will be the modified, and then the next set will be the more advanced version. So starting with knees at the front of the mat, hand at the front of the mat, we're going to make sure that we have a strong push through that shoulder so that we're never sitting like this. So press the finger pads into the ground. We're going to come up into our side plank position. Underneath hip, rotating forwards. There we go. And then we're going to drop the pelvis down, lift it up. So with the body being completely flat, maybe picturing splatted up against the window, we have a strong push through the shoulder, finger pads active on the floor, and the pelvis is sinking down quite passively. You catch it and push it back up again. Good. We're going to add the arms in now, 6 repetitions, and then we'll come and do this in a full plank. So up we come. We're going to have sweep, coming in, push 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. Perfect. And if you want to join me for the full plank, we're going to start 1 foot in front of the other. We're going to drive again down through this hand and lock the legs in nice and straight. Drop the hip, come up. Drop the hip, come up. 3, 4, last one, 5. Push the floor away. 6. Woohoo! And we're done. We are just going to repeat the forward and back exercise that we did when we were lying down on our side. We are going to use this one. I'm actually going to get you to take the clip and clip it on your rear loop. And that's going to give us a bit more strength with our push. We're going to do this with a modified plank. So up we come, finding our position, leaning right over the arm, hover the leg. Bend in, push away. Now for this version, I'm going to keep my knee bent. So coming in, driving, and it's quite dynamic. Actually a little bit of rotation happening in the upper rib cage. So not blocked, in, push away. Perfect. All right, let's spin around and we'll come on to the other side. So just going to start with the hip lifts and drops in the modified. So coming up into our position, drop, lift. So just get used to, in this set, connecting down through the hand, pushing through the shoulder, and having a nice passive and active lift here of the ribs. And we should see a bend here and a bend here. All right, second set with the arms. So we have drop, 1, drop, 2, just doing 6. Push the floor away with that underneath shoulder, and then a nice gap in the top shoulder. Perfect. Then if you're going to come with me, we have leg in front, hand again, big and wide, driving up, full plank, drop, coming over, bend one direction and then in the other. Last one. Woohoo! Coming down. All right. Then final exercise of class today. Popping the band on the rear. Knees bent. Coming up again. Strong push. Behind. Forwards. So it's almost like an air running motion. 5. Let's go. 2 more. Actually, 2 more. Good. Every instructor does that, don't they? So just finishing off with a mermaid stretch. So I'm just going to be sitting knees together here. Reveal my other band. Reaching up towards the ceiling and coming into a nice opening here. Push into the band. Then I'm going to swap and grab my other one. This time reaching towards my feet. Coming up, I'm going to emphasize the rib cage, the armpit, and then into the hand. Oh, coming forwards. Lovely. Quick swap. We're going to come over, lengthen through the side of the body here, coming back. And we're emphasizing the stretch, rib cage, armpit. So we have rib cage, coming back, lengthen into the armpit, push the arm overhead, beautiful, and a little roll forwards. Well done, guys. That's another class done based around some of our Pilates exercises. Enjoy. Stay safe.